During the gig?
Yes.
Yeah,
What's it gonna do?
the way
Rain?
it just made me feel, you know,
Rain, wind?
I saw you sneak off and grab the Jack Daniels and
Yeah.
blast a couple of big ones before you went out and did your song.
No, that was good. I think the band got noticed.
Good.
Oh no, it
I
can't.
mean, only one visit got noticed.
Oh yeah, that's. I know there are a few other people who saw that.
It's rolling this on. Ooh.
You mean we're on? We're sitting here in lovely
No,
Paris
MTV, not on.
Yeah, it's not on.
with Ron Wood, Keith Richards, those loud guitars, and that loud rock and roll band. So how's this European tour going so far?
Just like you just said.
It just
Loud guitars.
a continuation, really. Surprisingly enough, we thought that it would take a while for us to get back into the swing of it, you know. But it was kind of like having 2 days off from Hampton Roads and doing another gig, you know. From the start, the band has been red hot, you know.
I'm sure I've got a very good clone, because I'm pleased with what I've been doing, and I don't know how the hell I've been doing it.
Yeah, I think it's, see with the Stones, sometimes we do a tour and they sometimes don't tour for 3 years, you know, and that way you can get really rusty as far as playing to an audience, you know.
And it pisses us off.
But with only a few months between it, it's so much easier, you know, you fall back into...
What did you do from the time the U.S. tour ended and before you started this?
Moped around wondering when we were going to bloody
You
work.
did. We worked on the... Mick and I worked on the live album. Was on
Okay,
these,
so
you know.
no.
Yeah, I mean,
No, we
that's
did
basically the thing we did, and also setting up this tour, you know.
We got a couple of good breaks in the sunshine. I did a drawing, a lot of good drawing.
Today?
No, during the time off, you know.
Ah, you took a vacation?
From the 18th of December, or 19th, when it's ended, up until this one began.
It doesn't really seem that long ago, does it?
No.
No, that was the
That's
thing. We
like
got
yesterday.
back on stage again, and it seemed as if we just had a couple of days off, you know.
You haven't played Europe in 6 years.
Yeah.
How was that? Was it kind of strange coming back here, having not been in front of a European audience? Were you not sure how they would accept the Rolling Stones? Or?
No.
Well, we kind of had that okay sort of confidence in just because it was selling out so hugely, so we knew that they wanted to see us, you know. I mean...
But we didn't want them to expect too much, do we, either? The
Oh,
promoters.
yeah, I do. I
We didn't want
them
the
to
promoters to go crazy and sort of, oh, wow, it's going to be, you know, such a blitz that... You know,
I don't think anybody knew,
overarranged.
because this is the first time that Europe has been really played on this scale. You know, this is an American tour way of setting things up, you know, huge stadiums, you know.
Well, last year, the U.S. tour, you played like 2.5 million people. So what have you seen the figures on what this will be when it's all over?
No, but I did meet every one of those people there.
Yeah, personally, and thanks.
You talked to every one of them.
No, I don't know.
Just from my Vietnamese
there's
cats.
sort of those little statistics that you sort of find out. I don't think they even know themselves because the later shows...
So you're adding shows as you go.
Yeah, our itinerary is full of, it says TBA, to be advised, you know.
So you played Paris today, 60,000 people. How was the show in your opinion today?
It was real good, actually.
Yeah, probably a lot better than we think. We never know, you know. I mean, sometimes we come off thinking it's been, you know, oh, that wasn't so hot, and then everybody around who gets a chance to hear it from other aspects and has a chance to concentrate on it, so it's a great show, you know.
The weather was a little weird, though. Did that affect you?
Yeah, it affects us and also the instruments, you know, because you get a burst of sunlight for 10 minutes, warms everything up, and you have to adjust the sound and tunings a little. It's a little disconcerting that way, and then suddenly you get a cold wind that should put it all back the other way, you know. And then I was kind of hoping that
Bill Graham arriving on stage.
let it rain if it's going to rain, and stay something, just stay the same.
Rain
So-
for one song and then the summer trial for the next
I
one.
know, one minute you're sliding around, because when that stage gets wet, you know, the movements you're used to making, you have to cut down on.
Keith, I haven't seen you move as much as you moved today ever, and I've seen you guys a lot of times. It's something you just started doing. You said, all right, you were running around.
No, I used to move a lot, and earlier it used to, and
You learned
then
in a hailstorm, dodging.
in the 70s it was very hard, because we, in a way, had to relearn Because we never used to work with PAs and sound, you know, they didn't exist in the 60s. You just went to a gig, and if they had a couple of speakers hanging on the wall, you put the voice through that and the band played, you know. And so when we took a lot of time off the late 60s and then started working again with sound systems, so we had just kind of like learning again. And for a long time I felt very tied to the drums. I just wanted to hear that. So, and also the other thing is the size of the stage and the fact that now we use transmitters.
We're learning again.
And there's no chords, so there's nothing to stop you moving about. I mean, even Bill Wyman moves around now, you know. That's a miracle in itself.
Dipping my hands in a bucket of water, Mick was going to throw a crowd, right? And Karen playing like all slopping the water, because you can't get a shot.
Which you could never do.
Unless you realise that you're plugged in on a cord.
Up until the transmitters, I mean, if it was raining, you'd have to cancel the gig. You know?
And the way the stage comes out to the wing on the right, you can run out there with Mick.
Yeah, as long as Bill Graham's there with his shovel and sand. You know,
Yeah, the Munich show is funny. That to see Bill Graham rushing out with in his shorts and a wheelbarrow full of sand, trying to keep the stage from becoming an ice rink.
Keith, something kind of special has happened in your life here in the last few weeks or months regarding your father.
Yeah, a long time coming. You know, I hadn't seen my father since I left home when I was 18, 20 years. And
you've known him 18 and not known him for 20.
that was the thing. It was quite right that I realized that I'd suddenly been away from him longer than I'd ever been with him. Yeah.
Was there a problem that caused the two of you not to be in contact with each other?
No, I don't think it's a whole lot.
Not really.
They look great together.
When I left home, my parents separated. Every good boy's natural inclination is to take care of mama, you know, which that automatically makes taking sides and things. And then on top of that, it's so busy that by the time I'd realized I hadn't seen him for 7 or 8 years, I was kind of too leery of getting back together again, you know. But it actually has been fantastic, you know.
Did you have to go find him? I mean, was there a search involved? Did you know where he
No,
was?
I knew where he was. He's in the same house that I left when I was 18.
He looks like
We
Popeye.
made a trek.
That's it. I don't know, who would believe it? Son of Popeye.
We made a trek down to Keith's house in South England, right?
Yeah, I was a little apprehensive. I had begged Ronnie and his old lady to come down with me and sort of help me out because I wasn't sure. I thought the old man was going to get out the car and just put one on me, and bang.
Right.
That's for leaving me. You're not riding me for 20 years, son.
His dad finally pulls up, right, and we saw him through the window. He's here, right? So, okay, so I sat there. Keith goes running. He goes, Woody, where are you? I said, well, you know, you got to say hello to the guy, you know, on your own. I was like, no way, man, come down. He said.
You guys are real buddies, aren't you? I mean, you hang out together when you're not touring, and you're
Must
just good
like
buds.
to do a lot more of that. We are getting around to that. I'm moving to New York now.
It took me 3 years to get him out of LA and onto the East
Woody's
Coast.
moving to New York?
He's there. He has.
I think he is. When he gets here, I'll tell you.
I did it. I moved from LA to New York, and you don't love it, trust me.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's great.
It was, you know, it was a long. It's just a long distance, and he would, you know, not to be able to sort of go around the corner and say, oh, unless you know, want to come out for a drink, or you know, just sort of come and play. It's great that way, you know.
Solo careers appear to be happening.
Going
here.
out the window.
Stones. You in particular? Going out the window?
Well, I mean, we're trying to make them.
You just had a record out, what, last year, Woody?
Yeah,
About a year ago.
but yeah, I don't think many people
Contractual
know.
obligation, it was called.
I didn't make anything out of it because I know it's a good album and I recorded it in my garage with some good people. But it's no use trying to say, oh well, we've got to time it so you know the Stones album's coming out here. You don't want yours out there. I said, more difference does that make? Because mine's not in competition. What the hell is that? Got to do with anything. It just ends up getting in the way of smooth running because the boys are going, you know, like, oh Christ, Woody still mixing there. I hate the feeling of hanging it proceedings up. But anyway, I enjoy doing it, and when it's a natural outlet, it doesn't hang anything up.
Will you be doing another record soon? Solo?
No, I don't.
So you're
I've no plan. I mean, I will when the time's right. You know.
Yeah, my feeling about Woody and solo is when he's got an album, the right stuff, he makes a great album. His first one,
I think a best of,
yeah.
even though, you know, a best of no one knows about hits.
But then when he gets
a good move for me next.
tied into like a 3-album deal, and he's got to work at doing those other 2 albums, because he really says it all with the first one, you know, so he should be able to do it when he's got the material and what he wants to do down, no pressure, you know, not feel that he has to do it.
And CBS have been real good to me about that.
They're lovely people.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they're lovely people.
In fact, I'm marrying all of them.
What about you, Keith? You gonna do any?
No, I enjoy recording solo things for myself, and you know, the odd thing is when I keep them, I've got a huge,
may as well
diverse collection of tracks in the can over the years. But
You wrote a song 8 or 10 years ago in Germany. Was it about a hotel or something?
Munich Hilton, that was it. We wrote that one together. Yeah, in fact, we left the Munich Hilton yesterday. It was still
and we said,
because we used to record there.
The song, you know, we went, do you remember that?
You two were together then?
Yeah, we wrote that when Woody first joined us. We were recording Black and Blue in Munich. Yeah.
I'd already had a taste, because down at my basement in England, we did It's Only Rock and Roll, shoving around, you know, basically.
Yeah, Mick and Ronnie were actually playing together and getting together before I played with Ronnie.
What about video music now? That's this whole new phenomenon that seems to be happening in the United States. What are your views of what video music is all about, what effect it's having on the industry, and in particular MTV?
It is. I mean, I think that the more there's a certain, the more people that have the equipment wired up through a stereo so that they get the sound and the vision, you know, because I've always thought that TV's kind of...
No, you can understand that.
TV's always been a kind of ludicrous thing as far as like music goes, to have the picture and then
lamppost or something.
Some huge orchestra playing, and you've got this tiny little transistor speaker in the side of the thing. You know, it's never been really set up for music, TV. You know, but now with videos and everything being able to plug straight through to a stereo system and everything like that, I think it could. That's why it's starting to take off, you know.
We just finished the video on Going to a Go-Go, which is the first time ever the Stones have worked with any animation. You did this with Russell McKay. The other clips that you had done from Tattoo You had no animation. Was there any reason in particular why you did this?
We didn't allow artists to come in at the time. No, but I didn't know the animation bit had been...
Have you not seen it?
No,
Finished?
we haven't seen it. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
There's a little bit of concert footage and then some animation, special effects. It's hot.
Something to look forward to, Ron.
Yeah, right.
Maybe we can have a look at it here in a minute. So obviously you didn't get involved in the final production of Going to a Go-Go.
I don't even know. They were going to be in 2 days.
The promo was made, and the animation was added to the footage that we'd already done. So
nothing went undouble checked. Whether he double checked it in the final, say, or Mick, or Charlie, or you know.
Also, there's no
trust.
time. There's a time thing as well.
There's a trust thing too. That if we all can't do it, we know that it's going to be handled in exactly the direction it should be taken in. Even if it's just left with Mick or Mick and Keith or Mick and Keith and me or just me.
Mm-hmm. No, the big M.
The big M.
Right.
The ones for Tattoo You were interesting to do with Lindsay Hogg. You know, the Neighbours one I thought was particularly good. You know, the Hitchcock's Rear Window.
That hotel.
Yeah, the
Taft in New York.
Was that actually done in New York?
In the Taft?
In Hotel Taft in New York.
Yeah. Filmed from across the street.
And the Friends video.
That was
Friends?
that was a bar in St Mark's Place.
Yeah, which you bought out for the day or something?
Yeah, and we ended up
Yeah.
playing a live song for all
They
the
made a
kids.
fortune out of it. They got new air conditioning in there now, new sound system. They did really good out of it, that place.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of bars, you played one in London here the other night. Was that fun?
Yeah, yeah, that
100
was playing your home ground, you know.
Did you do anything special that night that you wouldn't do in front of 60,000 people?
Yeah, stay in one place
Yeah.
and not being able to move very
Yeah,
far.
it's a totally different way of playing, you know.
Oh, no, we had some real good fun. We did things like Mona, which when I used to go and watch the Stones, used to do, and lots of old...
Certain songs that don't really come across in a racetrack or a football stadium that need that small room.
Yeah,
That's-
that club history thing of the Stones'
The Stones sound
original essence, Route
Yeah.
66.
was born
you know?
in small rooms like that, you know.
That's got to be a real treat for you to be able to do that.
Because
you do it more often?
be able to do it is the thing. Often or not, just the fact that you're able now, flexibility of the setup we've got now, that
We
you
used to have
can do
residencies
it.
there. I don't know if we'll play that one again.
In that club?
Yeah.
Is that where the Stones actually started?
No.
No, oh, that wasn't. We had played it before, but it wasn't one of our actual regular haunts or stomping grounds. But
My first
it's
band
close
used to
enough.
play
It's just
every
like
Tuesday.
them.
Every Tuesday
there
I used to
every
play.
Tuesday?
Yeah, my brother's band used to play on the Wednesday, and then you'd get Jeff Beck with the Tridents, Tom Jones and the Squires. Really early forms of
We stole
groups.
Charlie Watts from his brother's band.
Really? Let's go
My
back
brother
to
used to
the-
play with a real good influence on R&B in England, like Cyril Davis, you know, and he had Nicky Hopkins and Charlie and Jack Bruce at one point, Dick Hexton
Yeah.
Smith, Alexis Corner, Baldry, you know,
John
Stewart.
Paul Jones.
They've always called Woody the Sixth Rolling Stone, but you're a founding member of this band. Really, aren't you?
In essence, I was always behind them, yeah. I always wanted, I thought, that's the band.
Yeah, he was kind of waiting in the wings, born for the job, you know.
When I joined Faces, when Stevie Marriott left, I just left the Beck group. Stu rang. The Stones had given the Faces their own rehearsal room in the East End of London. Right? He said, "Oh yeah, you can use it," you know. And they rang up. Stu rang up and said, "Would he be interested?" In, you know. And Ronnie Lane said, "Oh no, he's quite happy where he is. He's not interested." I found this out about 6 years later. You know.
He would have been in the band 6 years before.
Oh yeah, I'd have gone in like a shot.
Any crazy stories come to mind that's happened when you're both on stage in the middle of a concert and guitars come unplugged? Any bizarre incidents?
Oh, that
many.
happens. You know, you're always. I mean, I was on this tour. It was 2 or 3 gigs ago. Somewhere in Germany. I was starting, of all things, the intro to "You Can't Always Get What You Want," which is just the guitar, right? And I get 4 bars in, and the battery on the transistor on the radio goes, and it's just like, and you just stand there.
But not only does it fade, it goes.
Yeah,
What was it?
and like the whole intro, they're all just getting it. Oh, hey, you can't always get what we want. Wow, this intro, and it just sort of
So I
teeters out.
I had to take over. We cover each other, right? But the trouble is, the audience said, "What the? What is that?" You know, because he's got it going, right? And then I covered him. I had to cover him for the first chorus.
Yeah,
So
I
Nick
did.
says, "Come on, got to do."
I'm in the back of the amp and lay down. Let's have a quick prayer and get this trouble.
I enjoyed it. In fact, every time we play on the last tour, this tour, you know, Under My Thumb, let's spend the night together.
That
What's that
one.
one? Dum, 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 dum. You won't laugh when it's published. Dum, 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 dum. But in the old ones, though I wasn't around anyway, I always have a feeling it's kind of, the audience is going crazy. I better step back a little bit because otherwise they're going to think, yes.
Where's Brian?
No, they're all thinking,
He gets the blonde wig out for those.
yeah, right,
songs.
they'll think I dyed my hair anyway.
What do you think we hear a lot about this home taping. Any thoughts on that? Is it, in your opinion, is it affecting record sales? What can be done about
I mean,
it?
home people, like, maybe
So John Doe goes out and buys a Rolling Stones record and makes 5 copies for his buddies.
Yeah, they do. I mean, to me,
we do.
I see it, both sides of it. You know, I can see the record industry, you know, being part owner of a label. Yeah.
When I say
That
we
is-
do
that
it,
is-
if we
from
hear a
that
good
point of
sound,
view-
you duplicate it for your friend. You know, we don't do it for like, you're talking about like bootleggers.
Oh, no.
The indication to me
Well, that, of
is,
course, happens,
the indication
too.
to me is that if kids are doing that, and that's fine by me, because
Yeah.
that's just another a street level indication of the
I'm
demand.
aware of the figures. They claim that a certain age group, I think it's like the 14 to 21-year-olds, one record sells and there are 7 copies made off every record. If that's
Oh,
true, I
yeah.
mean, it's costing bands like yourselves a lot
No, I
of
think
money.
it's the first
Yeah.
time anyone's looked into it. I think it's been happening for
Well,
only
it is, but like I say, you weigh that against the very fact that they're doing that with your records. We said, you know, enough. I mean, it'd be very nice if somebody. It's the same with visual videos too. People copy and copy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, all you can get out of that is to say, well, they must really like you if they, you know, if they're putting all those copies out. I mean, rather than copy it, than not buy the record and not copy it.
Take that,
That's
yeah.
all. Yeah. And just sort of be happy that it's, you know, I take it as an indication of that you're doing the right thing as far as the audiences are concerned. You know.
There was a recent batch actually in Tower Records of somebody, some big artist, the entire cassette division or the album or both were all imposters. They were all made to look just like the real thing, but they really weren't.
Well, that happened with Beatles records too a few years ago. Didn't
The
it?
real big time bootlegging.
Yeah,
Not the
that
friends,
was
but the
real.
business.
Yeah, it was real.
The Rolling Stones have always been called a real street rock and roll band. Over the years, as success has come to you, how have you maintained a sense of street feeling?
I could perhaps answer that. coming
10 years
halfway
as a
through.
junkie keeps you pretty much on the street. That was one of the things that kept me very much down to earth.
But all the boys
But
are
that-
like that. They think that way. They don't think like, oh well, you know, we must, you know, change and synthesize it. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't go on. I mean, they'll play "Come On."
Yeah.
If-
No
if
matter
it's that.
if we go somewhere, we get back to London or that. I mean, Mick, Charlie, I was very interested to check out what's happening, you know, in the
But you
local
can't just
scene.
go anywhere you want.
Yeah, you can. We do, because we say, if I want to go somewhere, I'm going to go there. I'll put up with that. If there's hassles, and I'll run for it. You know,
The
or-
only time you run is when someone's chasing you.
Yeah,
One of the
right.
greatest quotes. The only time I run is when someone's chasing me.
When you're not on tour, it's a lot easier to.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, you guys can't walk anywhere without being recognized. I find it hard to believe that you could just walk into a club. Wherever
It's a matter of how you
different.
deal with being recognized.
But if
you
you
know,
walk
it's over, you
anywhere-
can call it out. You know, it's just a matter of your attitude to it. I mean, if you put 4 bodyguards and say no autographs in it, then don't go out because that's no fun. But, you know, you usually find you meet a few interesting people that way that you wouldn't. You know, after all, if you're on tour visiting countries and cities, one of the things you're going to get out of it is to meet a few people that actually live there. You know, otherwise you're in a total capsule. You know.
You brought up yourself the heavy drugs. Now that those days are behind you,
I brought them up several times.
has it changed your writing? Has it changed your?
I don't know so much if it's changed the music. I'm probably the last one to say that. I mean, it's just changed the way I live a lot because I don't have to worry about all that. I don't have to, you know, eventually, you know,
It's improved.
not
them.
all my friends aren't junkies anymore. Which is what happens when you're on that stuff. You
You're
know?
able to do songs all the way through now.
Yeah.
Was
So
there
we're
a time
rushing
when you
off for
couldn't-
breaks.
You couldn't finish a song?
No.
We
it's-
did, but took
No,
a nap.
I would sometimes go on too long, you know, if you just sort of
I'm talking about
get
the
carried
studio.
away.
Yeah.
The studio,
On
yeah.
stage, never had any.
No, I was always very conscious when we went on the tours, and I would always try and make sure that I was cleaned up for all that. It was coming off of tours that used to drug me, because all that adrenaline and working, it was, you know, you get used to it, and then suddenly, boom, 24 hours, it's all stopped.
That's where we get into trouble. You get bored and you start experimenting with glue.
And all the parasites come around, and you got nothing else to do, and you to get over a tour takes a few weeks, sometimes months, you know, just to get, because you're waiting for that piece of paper to come over the door, which tells you exactly what you're going to do for the day. You're playing, and you know, you're getting all that energy exchange with audiences, and it's always fun to play. And then you get very, very involved with everybody on the tour, the crew, everybody that works with you.
Would you rather work in the studio or play live?
If I'm as hot as I am now,
Are
I
you
don't know.
Both.
Is there any way
Both.
I can...
I think we could arrange that. If we could get the camera on Keith, we could probably get that jacket off.
What's wrong with you?
No, I want to take my jacket off, you see, but I didn't want to mess up the
Take a
interview.
break.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Are we doing, tape-wise, we okay?
Yeah, we're doing fine.
We'll just do a couple more minutes and we'll knock off some
How you doing, Arnold?
Arnold, you getting all this?
I've got 3 hours to take now.
6-hour tape.
But I
What's
guess
your
you
top
all-
10? Maybe some of your favorite videos? See a lot?
I usually use to catch up on movies that I don't get a chance to see, and old classic things, and things like coming out now, like, or over the last couple of years, things like you'd never get a chance to see others, like the stuff on Lenny Bruce and the odd obscure things that you would never get to see if the video thing hadn't have happened, you know.
What about video music? Do you have any particular favorites? There's a certain limited number of people who seem to have the market cornered from the producing and directing standpoint, but there are a lot of very creative videos being done by newer, lesser-known bands.
Yeah, because there's no kind of one level to set precedence from, really.
Yeah,
So
it's a
good,
new
yeah.
thing. Anybody who's got
Use it
ideas
right, yeah.
can get that, can get into that. Obviously, I think every band, every artist, music, recording artist is going to get more and more into that, because it's obviously a new area opening up, you know, and I think you're going to find more and more people involved
I'd really
in it.
love to use it with this band. I think we would make a good creative offering.
I'm sure that the audience out there would love to see a Rolling Stones video of a complete album. Certainly would be a demand for that, I would think. Of course, you have your film coming out soon.
Yeah, that's happening. They're still editing that, but it's coming along. Okay, that was a good gig. I mean, that's the main thing. First off, you've got to have a good gig. It doesn't matter how well you film it or anything if the actual show isn't good, you know. But it was a good show.
The event needs to be captured.
Yeah, and
Which in this case it was.
Mm-hmm. Open air, big Phoenix.
it was Phoenix.
Are we combining the small club thing with Muddy Waters?
I think that
That's
they
in the
may
movie
be
too.
adding that, so there'll be that real huge event, and also there'll be
Southside Chicago.
Southside Chicago blues stuff with Muddy, Buddy Guy, and
Checkerboard.
good
30 people, you know.
a good
100.
contrast.
So you toured America last year for over, 50 dates. Took a short break, released a live record, you're back on tour in Europe, and you got a movie coming out. Busy.
Yeah, that was the year that was. You know, by the time this tour finishes, I realise that we've been doing the show, either listening to it on tape, you know, or actually doing the show for a year. August, we started rehearsing.
This is probably the busiest year ever for you.
Yeah, about time. We've been far too lazy.
You get bored?
Yeah, well, you know, yeah.
4 tops.
Yeah.
People get used, you know, after if you don't do something for a while, everybody thinks that that's the natural pace to go, and this band, this last year, has really hit a stride where
Nobody knows where anyone else is.
But in actual fact, working is the best thing for it, because it's actually pushed us forward a little, you know, rather than stopping and starting, which is where you just peak and then you start again and just reach the same peak and then stop. And
when we were last in the studio, right? You said the other day we haven't been in since.
We haven't cut new tracks since '79. The one thing is that you can't. Apparently it seems you can't do these tours and record at the same time, you know. So the next thing, obviously, after this is a new studio album, you know, start working.
So you start in the fall on the new studio?
Yeah, let's start.
Bob Clearmountain did the Still Life, actual live date truck recording, and saw it through in the studio. The final stage was right up to the mix, you know. So I had the same one man in a tent.
I don't know if Bob will be doing this.
No, I don't think it's necessary now.
Next studio one, although he may well, you know.
I thought you meant live, yeah. He's very good, though.
No, he's just doing it, and you know, studio album's the next thing we've got to do. Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you have songs ready for this record now?
You've already said Munich Hilton, you know, there's lots of that kind of
After
thing.
3 years not being in the studio, yeah, there's lots of ideas, you know.
Another thing that crossed my mind on stage and playing here in Paris today was just on one of the bridges.
Am I awake?
Gates.
Am I awake yet?
Yes, those studios. Pathé Marconi in
Which is, yeah.
Boulogne-Billancourt, right? That's where we made most of the songs of the newer stuff that we played today, you know, like Whip
Some
Comes
girls
Down.
on. Some,
Oh, you've recorded more in Paris probably than anywhere, yes?
yeah, well, yeah, probably.
Yeah, Beast of Burden.
At least recently. Munich used to be our recording base in the mid-70s.
So do you think the next record will be done here in Paris?
I think so, yeah.
Seems to work.
What can we look for on that record? Any idea at this point? Is it too early?
We have no
You don't know
idea.
if you get
It shapes itself as it goes along, you know. You can never tell.
So whose idea was it to redo the Smokey Robinson song?
Mick and I have sort of been bashing that one out in hotel rooms for ever since Smokey brought it out, I think. And
I used to play it in my first group, I remembered the other day. So like
yeah, so he's
years.
been, and it was a song that we all knew and sort of used to bash out in dressing rooms or to sort of warm up.
And when we're rehearsing too, we're always breaking out into songs from the past between rehearsing a song for stage, you know, like someone says, bang, bang, bang.
I always say
Old Eddie Cochran.
that was a song
you know.
we wish we'd done then, you know, and eventually
Go
that happened.
about as well, like that, a presentation again.
Although how it actually happens that we end up doing it now, I can't really say. It's just one of those things, you know. We play it through a couple of times, and everybody says, "Wow, yeah, we actually got it down." You know, let's try it out. Yeah.
Could have been Sweets for My Sweet. Remember that one?
Yeah.
That was a high contender. But we never played it since rehearsals and
Next time.
American.
Do it in the
Yeah.
studio. I mean, I'm trying to think, has there ever been an old song that was a smash that you could have redone in the studio?
Tallahassee Massey would have been if we'd ever released it. But you know, that's another
We
one.
have some potential ones in the can, I think, but nothing that we've ever brought out. Although, I mean, I guess Time Is On My Side that was a minor hit for Irma Thomas, you know. And it was a minor hit for us too.
I was playing the brass part to Otis Redding's Satisfaction when we did it. So I was going.
Nifty fingering for that point of the show, Ron.
Right, as soon as you looked at me, I thought that. Oh, calm down. Then.
Well, listen, thanks for taking the time, and
Pleasure.
good luck on the remainder of this tour.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Now, why don't we knock out some birthday shit? You guys want to get Nats and wish us happy birthday? Our birthday's in August.
Yep, first one, second one.
Oh,
First.
First.
Ever.
Say no more. Cheers.
Pop out and buy a candle, Arnold.
This is Keith. This is Woody wishing MTV a happy birthday. Anything you want to do, just get crazy.
Okay.
Are we rolling?
Okay.
This is Woody, who's going to pass his drink to Keith to say happy birthday MTV.
Thank you, Ronald. Happy birthday. First birthday, MTV.
Let's see.
Have a good one.
Let's see. This is Keith Richard. This is Ron Wood. How can we do this? You're watching MTV. You'll never look at music the same way again. Can you remember all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a back and forth thing. Can you do that, Steve? Can you get him? Yeah. This is Keith Richards. This is Ron Wood. You're watching MTV and you'll never look at stereo. You'll never look at music the same way again.
I'll say that line. All right.
Okay.
Who fired that shot?
Here you go.
Who's
1,
up
2,
first?
3. This is Keith Richard.
This is Ron Wood.
Looking at music on MTV. Oh no, and we'll never get it right either.
We will. We'll never see music
Take
played this way
two,
again
take
on
two.
me, of it, of fish. Oh. Should keep that one too.
Right, I got the names right.
Right.
Right, this is Keith Richard, this is Ron Wood.
Then it's you say it. All the next bit.
You're watching MTV.
Watching music on watching
You're watching
MTV.
MTV in stereo.
Right.
You'll
And then
never
I'll
look at
say
music
my
the same
bit,
way again.
which I'm not going to say, otherwise I'll fuck it up.
Okay,
One.
good luck, chaps. This is Keith Richard.
This is Ron Wood.
Watching MTV on stereo. And we'll never watch music the same way again.
And you'll never look at music the same way.
See us the same way again.
He said my lines.
Believe it or not, that's not we should try it one more time. That's perfect.
Right.
That fits MTV when you blow it completely.
He put a strange word.
Maybe if you start.
What was it you said since you're watching on stereo?
No, stereo, is it?
You're
Put stereo.
watching MTV?
Yeah.
That does sound weird, Ben. You're listening in stereo. You're watching MTV.
Yeah, and you're listening
never look
in
at music.
stereo?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then you say, you'll never look at music the same way again.
Right.
Okay, and what are you saying?
I'm going to say,
This is Ron Wood.
no, this is Ron. I'm going to say, this
How
is
come
Ron.
you get the easy
This
bits?
is Ron Wood and Keith Richards, I'm saying. We are watching MTV in stereo.
That's what you're going to
Point at the
say.
camera. You're watching.
I really want
Yeah.
to do it. Okay, look. Your country needs this.
You demand your MTV.
Right, this is Ron Wood.
This is Keith Richard.
And this is me again saying, we are watching MTV.
Start it again.
Right, go. This is Ron Wood.
And Keith Richards.
And
We're watching MTV in stereo.
and you'll never look at TV the same way again.
Start it again.
You never look at music.
That was his
These are better than the real thing, though.
But the in stereo was good.
It
We
was
said it
great.
together.
Okay. This is Ron Wood and Keith Richards. You're watching MTV in stereo, and you'll never see TV the same way. We'll watch it again the same way. Right, okay. This is a warm up. Here we go.
This is Keith Richards.
This is Ron Wood.
We're watching MTV in stereo. And we'll never look at music the same way again.
Perfect.
Trust a pro.
You want to be Merry Christmas.
Where's me Oscar?
Keith Richard, Ron Wood wishing you and everyone has something.
Thanks
On
for
MTV
that.
wishing you a Merry Christmas.
Happy birthday all round.
Okay, should we do the Christmas, the Easter one?
No, we'll knock off the Christmas. No, we'll do the New Year's. Y'all can learn.
Yeah, the bicentennial. Wait for
We
that.
should do the year 300.
Put it in the can.
Save that one. Ho, ho, ho.
Cheers. Here's,
Okay.
happy birthday.
That's it, right, guys? Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great.
All right.
It was hot in here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it warms up as it gets going. It's lights.
Nice.
All right, I would have walked out, you know, trailing